He called me his unemployed sister. I smiled. But something had already begun that day. My name is Nora Ellis, and the moment those words left my brother's mouth, a quiet resolve took root. It was a crisp May afternoon in 2025, the Willamette River glistening under the Portland, Oregon sky, where I just walked across the stage at my college graduation, clutching a degree in environmental science. I was 23, a determined woman with a passion for sustainable design and a fledgling idea for a green tech startup, Econist Solutions, still in its infancy with no income yet. My brother Liam, a 28-year-old corporate climber at Green Future Corp, had taken the microphone during the family toast, his voice dripping with mockery as he introduced me to our relatives. "Here's my unemployed sister Nora," he'd said, his grin wide, his colleagues chuckling. The crowd's laughter stung, but beneath my forced smile, I harbored a secret. Weeks earlier, I'd secured a silent investor for Econist, a venture he'd never imagine. That night, alone in my tiny apartment overlooking the river, the hum of traffic below, I opened my laptop, my fingers poised over the keys. The journey ahead would turn his taunt into my triumph. The mockery was a bitter pill. Liam had always been the golden child. Top grades, a sleek office job, a condo in the Pearl District, while I'd carved my own path, often dismissed as the dreamer. Our mother, a librarian, had nurtured our differences, but Liam's success had bred a rivalry, his jabs a constant undercurrent. Growing up in Portland's eclectic neighborhoods, we'd explored the forests together, yet he'd chosen corporate ladders over nature's call. The graduation taunt, delivered with his polished charm, felt personal, his friends from Green Future in their tailored suits amplifying the humiliation. I was an only sibling in spirit, our bond strained by his shadow, and now that resilience flared, the pain sparked a resolve. I'd build a life he'd envy, outshine his world, and prove my worth. I took my laptop to a corner cafe, its aroma of roasted coffee beans a comfort, managing Econist's early plans with fierce determination. By June 2025, I'd saved $8,000 from freelance design gigs, my focus sharpening with each sketch. The journey was relentless. I balanced startup work and consulting, sleeping 5 hours a night, my hands smudged with graphite and coffee stains. I'd conceived Econist during my senior project, a platform for eco-friendly home solutions, now valued at $10,000 in potential. Liam's taunt shaped a strategy. I'd grow my venture, rival Green Future, and turn his dismissal into my fuel. I contacted a mentor, Dr. Patel, costing $2,500 for guidance, my savings hitting $10,500 by July 2025. I worked 55-hour weeks designing prototypes, earning a $1,800 fee from a local eco group, my resolve hardening with each milestone. Building Econist took grit. I analyzed Green Future's market, Liam's employer, a $60 million firm with a shaky green reputation, spotting gaps in their sustainability claims. I hired Dr. Patel, her expertise a beacon, and gathered data. Their overpriced products, client feedback on poor quality, Liam's role in a stalled project. My savings rose to $13,000, and I invested $4,000 in a 3D printer for prototypes, projecting $9,000 returns. I visited a sustainability fair on July 20, 2025, networking with eco-investors, my pitch honed. A vendor, impressed by my passion, offered contacts, but Liam's presence, smirking from Green Future's booth, rattled me. Doubts crept in. Could I outpace him? Would his influence sabotage me? I pressed on, drafting a business plan on a cafe napkin, the ink blending with spilled latte, a symbol of my dual worlds. The confrontation simmered. I invited Dr. Patel to my apartment on July 25, 2025, my heart thudding. She arrived, her briefcase heavy with notes. I spread the data, Green Future's flaws, Liam's project delays. "You can disrupt them," she said, her voice steady. "Their stock's vulnerable." I called a college friend, Mia, who'd interned at Green Future, seeking insight. She visited, her face tense, the data in my hands. "Liam's cocky but the CEO's stressed," she warned. "Watch your back." The truth was daunting. Opportunity laced with risk, igniting my drive. The shift was empowering. I expanded Econist, securing a $6,000 contract with a local co-op for green designs, my savings climbing to $16,000. My venture valuation hit $15,000, but the rivalry consumed me. Mia called, cautioning about Liam's network, but I hung up, her warning a hurdle. Economist thrived, booking $2,000 in pre-orders. My focus turned to growth, launching a Green Roots crowdfunding campaign, earning $1,500 in pledges. But tension brewed. A rival designer, Ethan Cole, began underbidding my projects, his tone smug, his designs echoing mine. I uncovered his tie to Liam, golf buddies, costing me a $2,500 deal. A sudden rainstorm flooded my apartment's basement office, soaking equipment. I tensed. Was this Ethan's move or nature's test? Standing amid the damp chaos, the business plan in hand, I felt Liam's taunt and a rising challenge. What was next? The flooded basement and Ethan Cole's undercut bids echoed in my mind as I stood in my Portland apartment, the Willamette River reflecting the city's lights through the rain-streaked window. The thrill of building Economist Solutions, Liam's rival, backed by the Green Roots campaign, felt like a fragile victory against this mounting pressure. My fingers brushed the soaked blueprints, Liam's graduation taunt a stark contrast to my progress. The insurance claim on the flood damage was pending, Dr. Patel's guidance a flickering hope. Was Ethan sabotaging me, leveraging his golf bond with Liam? Or was the rainstorm a random setback testing my grit? My pulse raced, but I steadied myself. The crowdfunding earned $1,800 monthly, my savings at $16,000, and Economist thrived with $2,500 monthly from pre-orders. Yet the challenge hinted at a deeper rivalry. I salvaged the blueprints, determined to press on, and called Dr. Patel, her voice a calming anchor. Keep building, she said. We'll outgrow them. I nodded, plotting my next step. The next morning, I met Dr. Patel at a co-op workspace near Powell's Books, the scent of recycled paper blending with my resolve. Her sharp eyes scanned the damaged blueprints and Ethan's bid sheets. This is targeted disruption, she said, her notebook open. Scale your vision and protect your work. Liam's the benchmark. I agreed, my mind racing. I contacted green tech investors, launching a Sustainable Rise funding drive to accelerate Economist, costing $5,500 and dipping my savings to $10,500. At my apartment office, I briefed my team, 2 designers, a social media intern. In the living room, the air damp from the flood. We're challenged, I explained, showing the evidence. Their faces hardened, but they rallied, vowing support. My venture valuation hit $20,000, but the stakes rose with every design. My growth intensified. I expanded Economist, securing a $7,000 contract with a Portland eco hotel for sustainable fittings, and invested $6,500 in advanced modeling software, projecting $13,000 returns. My savings climbed to $12,000 and I upgraded the office with waterproof storage, working 18-hour days to refine prototypes amid the city's drizzle. Mia called, her voice laced with concern, urging me to ease off Liam, but I hung up, her caution a hurdle. The hotel deal added $4,000 monthly, boosting my momentum. Dr. Patel's update unsettled me. Ethan had been seen at Green Future's office, his designs now mimicking my eco-concepts, and his alliance with Liam fueled his interference. He's guarding Liam's pride, she said. But their market's shaky. The rivalry burned in my mind, a fire I couldn't douse. The pressure escalated a week later. A client pitch was derailed. Ethan's team spread rumors of my inexperience, costing me a $3,000 deal. No threat, just a sting. My stomach tightened. I called Dr. Patel, who suggested a public showcase to expose Ethan's tactics. I reinforced the apartment, spending $3,800 on floodproofing, and hired a part-time assistant, a meticulous woman named Claire. The police noted the rumors, Ethan's voice on a recording, but no legal action, while Dr. Patel traced his supplier ties, hinting at a grudge. Paranoia crept in, every knock a potential sabotage, yet I refused to yield. I leveraged the funding drive's buzz, launching a Green Live webinar series that booked $5,000, lifting my income. Ethan confronted me, calling from his studio, his tone smug. Nora, you're out of your league, he taunted. Back down. I hung up, but curiosity gnawed. Dr. Patel dug deeper, uncovering Ethan's past rivalry with Liam over a promotion. A bond turned sour. He's using you to spite Liam, she warned. I faced Ethan at a eco-fair Claire nearby. Why copy me? I demanded. He smirked. Liam's fall benefits us both. I left, his words a puzzle, but the rivalry hinted at a shared agenda. I mounted a counterstrike. With Dr. Patel's help, I streamed the webinar, showcasing my original designs against Ethan's copies, drawing 1,000 viewers. I boosted my research, securing a $11,000 contract with a sustainability nonprofit, pushing my valuation to $35,000. The nonprofit's team monitored my work, easing my nerves. But tension mounted. A webinar was cut short. Power outage, Ethan's laughter in the crowd. The police logged it, but proof was thin. I called Dr. Patel, who suggested a family angle, given me as hints. The stream gained traction. I compiled evidence. Dr. Patel's reports, Ethan's rumors, fair footage. Working late to refine it, my apartment lit by a desk lamp. Ethan offered a $10,000 truce to end the webinars. Let's collaborate, he pressed over a tense call. No, I told Dr. Patel. I want to lead. The next live event arrived, a virtual crowd of 1,500. Ethan scowled as I revealed his design thefts, Liam's name surfacing. The chat buzzed, viewers rallied, and Ethan's credibility waned. As I signed off, he muttered, "You'll regret this." That night, a heavy rain battered Portland, flooding streets. No message, but a legal letter from Green Futures Council slid under the door. Cease rivalry or face scrutiny. No court, just pressure. I froze. Who sent it? Ethan's move? Liam's defense? The victory felt fragile, a new obstacle rising. I called Dr. Patel, who promised a counterplan. My rise was gaining, but the flood was rising. The legal letter from Green Future and the relentless rain battering Portland haunted me as I stood in my apartment. The Willamette River swollen beyond its banks, its turbulent waters reflecting the city's dim lights through the rain-streaked window. The thrill of outpacing Liam with Economist solutions, bolstered by the Green Live webinar, felt like a fragile victory against rising pressure, the damp air heavy with the scent of wet earth. My breath caught as I reread the letter. Cease rivalry or face scrutiny. The unknown force from Liam's corporate sphere, a stark contrast to my burgeoning success. The paper damp in my trembling hands. The police probe into Ethan Cole's interference had stalled. Dr. Patel's strategy a lifeline amid the storm's chaos. The patter of rain against the glass a constant reminder. Who was behind this? Ethan's network, fueled by his grudge against Liam? My brother's allies shielding his pride? Or a company shield I hadn't yet breached? I dialed Dr. Patel, my voice steady despite the knot tightening in my chest, the phone cool against my ear. Push forward, I said, my words a promise forged in resolve, echoing with the storm's rhythm. We're close. She assured me of her support, her tone a rock in the tempest, a lifeline in the downpour. The win was mine, Ethan's credibility shaken, my venture growing with each step. But a deluge threatened with every click of my mouse, the memory of Liam's taunt a fire in my veins. The next day, I met Dr. Patel at a community center near the waterfront, the scent of wet wood and the faint aroma of coffee grounding me amid the flood's aftermath, the hum of a generator a steady pulse. Her furrowed brow examined the letter, the webinar data, and a smudged note from my last rushed meeting, her presence a beacon of calm. This is corporate intimidation, she said, her fingers tracing the letterhead, her voice cutting through the ambient noise of dripping water. Go public with the takeover and safeguard your gains. Liam's the key, his failures are your leverage. I nodded, my mind racing with determination, the patter of rain against the roof a rhythmic backdrop to my thoughts. I contacted eco-conscious venture capitalists, planning a Green Victory acquisition event to secure Green Future, costing $12,000 and dipping my savings to negative $1,500, a bold move offset by a small business loan that tightened my financial grip. At home, I briefed my team, 3 designers, a live stream host, gathered in the living room, the air heavy with the scent of mildew from the flood, their faces reflecting the shared strain of our journey. We're under fire, I explained, showing the evidence, my voice firm despite the damp chill seeping into my bones. Their faces steeled, but they rallied, vowing allegiance with a shared glance, their trust a bulwark against the storm. My venture earned $10,000 monthly, a testament to my rise from Liam's shadow, but peril loomed like the rising river outside. I spent $13,000 on flood defenses, sandbags and elevated equipment, reducing my savings further, the loan a tightrope I walked with cautious steps. Protection became my stronghold, a fortress built from necessity and grit. Dr. Patel's first update came that evening, her voice cutting through the static of a rain-soaked line, the connection crackling with the storm's intensity. She'd secured a lead investor, eyeing Green Future's $60 million valuation, its stock down 20% since my campaign exposed their greenwashing, a crack in their facade. Liam's project delays are the fracture, she said, her words crisp with possibility, a strategist's clarity. You can acquire them if we strike now. I shared it with my team, their eyes brightening as we drafted takeover terms, the room alive with the scratch of pencils and the flicker of laptop screens, the energy palpable. Meanwhile, I plunged into work, launching a Econist legacy product line to capitalize on the momentum, booking $22,000 and earning $13,000, the creative surge a balm for my frayed spirit, each design a defiance of Liam's doubt. My savings rose to $11,500 with the loan, my venture valuation reaching $50,000, a milestone that pulsed with pride and the weight of expectation, a quiet thrill in my chest. Mia called, her voice thick with worry, begging me to reconcile with Liam, his regret a thread she clung to with desperate hope. But I hung up, her plea a weight I couldn't carry, the memory of his graduation sneer too raw to soften. The rivalry cast a shadow over my achievements, a dark cloud I refused to let dim my light, my resolve hardening with each passing hour. A torrential downpour hit days later, flooding the streets and cutting power to my apartment, forcing a 2-day closure as water lapped at the sandbags, the air thick with frustration. No note, just nature's fury amplified by the season's wrath, the sound of rushing water a constant threat. The police logged it as a weather event, a report filed with little progress, but I suspected Ethan's influence. His smug nod at the last fare lingered, a hint of sabotage in his gaze. I called Dr. Patel, her voice steady over the crackling line, who suggested a live reveal to corner Green Future and expose their weaknesses. I agreed, drafting a statement with a steady hand. From mockery to mastery, I faced their resistance. I won't falter. The event, held virtually from a borrowed studio with a backup generator humming, drew 2,000 attendees, their digital presence a sea of supportive faces on my screen. My voice trembled as I presented the acquisition pitch, Liam's project failures a stark exhibit. But I stood tall, my resolve hardening with each word, the weight of 2,000 eyes fueling my fire. The story erupted, designer targets brothers firm, a headline that reverberated across eco-circles, boosting my bookings to $25,000 monthly, though the tension mounted like the rising tide outside. Dr. Patel's next report unveiled layers of intrigue, her findings a map of corporate betrayal. She'd uncovered Liam's internal memos, panicking about the takeover's threat to his status, and Ethan's role in feeding Green Future my designs to discredit me, a rivalry turned venomous with each stolen sketch. Liam's dispensable, she said, her tone pragmatic, a strategist's judgment. The CEO seeks an exit, your offer's their lifeline. I tensed, the stakes soaring to a dizzying peak, my heart pounding with the thrill of victory within grasp. I rallied the event community, forming an eco-alliance, to counter Green Future's narrative, their support a digital fortress at my command, strengthening my position. I fortified the apartment, adding $9,000 in waterproofing and a 10th guard, a sturdy woman named Rachel. My savings dipped to $2,500, the loan a lifeline I balanced, but the team's spirit held like an unbreakable chain. I trained them in public advocacy, turning the space into a hub of innovation. The sabotage probe gained momentum, a slow unraveling of justice. My team uncovered Ethan's doctored client emails, a smear that cost me $10,000 in lost contracts, the figures a bitter sting. I reported it to the police, who raided his studio, seizing hard drives. Mia visited, her eyes red, confessing, Liam's crumbling but his ego blinds him, adding pressure. Ethan's influence faded by 65%. Victory transformed my world, my savings hitting $60,000 with $28,000 monthly from the product line and $18,000 from a festival deal, valuation at $80,000. I upgraded Econist to a hub, celebrating with cider. But a text arrived. Unknown number. You've crossed a line. Step back. I froze. Dr. Patel traced it to a burner, likely Green Future's legal team. I hired a consultant, spending $14,000. A competitor outbid me, Ethan's doing, and my site was hacked, mocking my rise. The police probed, but leads lagged. I launched a Green Future Fund for $70,000, the festival growing to $20,000 monthly. I drafted From Unemployed to Unstoppable, working late. A figure lingered near the hub. Dr. Patel suggested Ethan's aid with Green Future's backing. I added $11,000 in surveillance, savings at $65,000. Standing in the studio, the dawn aglow, I felt a win. Green Future near, Liam faltering, but the step back loomed. Was it Ethan's revenge? A corporate shield? I sipped tea, the figure lingering. What was next?